y'all. So I am getting on here to well, because the Holy Spirit has given me something to talk to y'all about. And if I'm being completely honest, the Holy Spirit told me to make this video like a while back, and I made it, but sometime like during like when I really just wasn't feeling my best, I ended up deleting all of the footage. So now he's having me remake the video so I can get it out. And honestly, I have no idea why he wants me to talk about this, but obviously if he's telling me to talk about it, then I need to talk about it, right? This is a lot different than I normally do. I don't even know what to like call this. I guess like little season that he has me in. Like I mentioned in the previous video, he has our podcast on pause for a little bit, and he has me doing something different. He has me operating in my gift in which he's given me. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and get into it now. So I made a video, 2 videos actually. I made and posted them on TikTok, and they were regarding birds, right? The Holy Spirit pointed out to me in these 2 separate videos 2 different ways birds can be used, right? And one of which, the first video that I posted, bird was being used by the enemy, right? It was very, very clear, to at least to me, in the video. And just, you know, based off what I was hearing from the Holy Spirit in that moment while I was making the video, I guess this is like a continuance of those videos. But the second video that I posted about birds was God using the birds, right? And the Holy Spirit pointed out to me that this word isn't necessarily like in the Bible, but it's a word that I feel like I hear often, especially on social media, when it comes to things of like the kingdom and things, you know, not in the kingdom, right? So the word that I'm talking about is counterfeit, right? And you typically hear it when people are referring to like people and like, you know, like relationships, right? However, the Holy Spirit pointed out to me, and again, this word is not in the Bible to my knowledge, but the Holy Spirit did point out to me that counterfeits in certain circumstances are like a thing, right? So the reason that there are 2 separate videos was because the first video of the bird was a counterfeit. Just what I think, but I think that God allowed the enemy to use the bird as a monitoring spirit, not necessarily like the exact same bird, because like in the video you can tell like there's little details that are different between the 2 birds, right? And the Holy Spirit pointed out these details to me, right? Personally, I think that God allowed, you know, the enemy to use a bird to kind of like test my faith in this area, because like I said, he's been using birds a lot. Like, I shouldn't say birds because it's really like one bird, but he uses birds. He's been using birds a lot in this season, right? So I guess not only did God allow it, I feel like, to test my faith, but to also like test and increase like my discernment. But yeah, the first video is definitely like the enemy using a bird, and it was a monitoring spirit. That's what the Holy Spirit revealed to me, that it was a monitoring spirit. I brought up counterfeits because, you know, typically like when you hear people talk about counterfeits, they mention that counterfeits come before, you know, the real thing, the true thing, right? That's kind of like the reasoning behind the fact that it's 2 separate videos and it was 2 separate birds. This one was a counterfeit, and it was being operated by the enemy, and it was a monitoring spirit. So yeah, the second video was God using the bird, and in the video it was not only in the video, but since then God has made it very clear that he is the one using the bird now. You can kind of just, I guess, just, you know, go back and watch that video, kind of, you know, that's kind of like, I guess, like a little rundown on like the two videos. But since the bird that God uses has literally came every single day, right? And I know you're probably like girl, like every single day. Well, I should say every single day that I am in the car, right? So you're probably wondering, okay, like when the bird comes, like what is it coming for? What is it doing? Why is God sending the bird? And how do you know that God is sending the bird, right? How do I know that God is the one sending this bird every single day? And how do I know that it's not the enemy, right? Well, literally tried everything to get the bird to go away, but it doesn't. It's pretty persistent, and that, for me, that's God's personality. He's persistent. He's not going to let up. He's not going to change just because I don't feel like dealing with it today, or I don't feel like getting up today. So that's kind of, you know, just how I know, because of the persistence of the bird. And, you know, there's been times where I have within my head, of course, I know that I can say it out loud because the enemy does not hear what I'm communicating to God, but I typically in my head, and I think I might have done it in the second video about the birds, I always, like, you know, ask, like, okay, God, if this is, you know, if this is you sending the bird, like, let the bird, like, leave, or like I ask God to, like, let the bird do something, you know, to indicate that it is from him, right? And every single time, whatever it is that I'm asking him to confirm, he confirms through the bird, right? So yeah, that's kind of like how I know that the bird is from him. Now going into how, like, when the bird comes, so this is so like weird. The bird, like, has been consistently coming to my car doing the exact same thing in this video. Mentioned that video was taken this morning, so it has come every single day since the second video I made about birds, but the first video about God using birds, right? So he's been here every single day consistently since. The times that the bird comes, so he comes like I said, every single day that I'm in the car, right? He comes between the times 5:30 and 7 o'clock in the morning. I used to come in during that time. Well, the bird wakes me up during that time so that I can read the word, right? So I can read the Bible, right? So when God using the bird wakes me up between the times 5:30 and 7 o'clock in the morning, I know that that's him telling me to read the word, get in the word, you know, like that's what I do between those times, right? And typically, like, I do this for like maybe like an hour, sometimes more. If he wakes me up at 5:30, I'll probably read to like 6:30, and by 7 I'm typically going back into a rest. So from like, oh, and I also want to mention that whatever time the bird comes, as soon as I get up to do the thing that God is waking me up to do, the bird leaves immediately, right? And that's another reason and way that I know that it's God, right? Because it doesn't leave until I get up and do what I'm supposed to do. So say for instance, if the bird comes at 5:30 and I wake up, it's gonna continue making the noises, doing what it's doing until I actually get up and start doing the thing that I'm supposed to do. So it's not going to leave until I actually like basically like sit up and open my Bible, right? It's not going to leave until then. Like there's been times where I've tried to be like, you know, like I've heard it and I'm like, okay, God, like I'm finna get up, like you can let it leave now, and it doesn't leave. It doesn't leave until I actually like get up, right? And so from 7 to like 8, I take a nap. And between the times 8 and like 10, somewhere in between those times, it's typically like closer to 8, sometimes a little bit before 8, the bird comes back. This is all like within like the same day, so it's not, you know, just one day it's this time and the next day. No, this is a 24-hour period, right? So the first time that it comes between 5:30 and 7, I take a nap between 7 and 8, and somewhere between 8 and 10. And the times, you know, vary. but it's the exact same thing that it did in that video that you just seen. And I know during that time that God is telling me to get up and type out my dreams and allow him time to interpret it. Here lately, there are instances where I don't remember my dreams, and you know, there are times where he's had me type out my dreams earlier between the first time that he wakes me up and interpret it during the second time, between 8 and 10, and so that way it leaves him time to also give me downloads, right? So here lately, like, I've been having like dreams, but some like this morning, for instance, this morning, and today is the 7th, May 7th, and it's 11:38 in the morning. But this morning I woke up around like a little bit like before 6. I woke up on my own, and it's been happening. Like, the bird has, like, you know, been coming for so long that my body has, you know, just naturally starts to wake up on the first like part of the day, like at the first time that the bird normally wakes me up, right? So the Holy Spirit wakes me up, right? And I read my word, and I talked to God for like a little minute. I told him, like, I don't remember like my dream, and you know, I just kind of just prayed about that, and I went to try to go back into like a rest, right? Because I was genuinely like tired, and all of a sudden the bird comes, and I'm just like, I've already read, I don't remember my dream, so there's nothing for me to like type out. I just told you, like, I don't remember my dream, so like, why is the bird here? And I'm just like laying there, and I'm trying to ignore it, but I'm like a really light sleeper now, but I'm trying to ignore it, and it's not going away. And I'm just talking to God, like, why is the bird here? But I'm not really like, I don't think that my heart posture was like in a position to like receive what he was saying, or like to even hear what he was saying. So I was just, because I was kind of like frustrated, and because I was tired, and I was just like, you know, like, God, like, why is this bird here, right? And I wasn't really hearing anything, or listening, I should say. So the bird, you know, is just doing what it does every day that it comes. And I figured out like this trick with it. I have like as you guys can see, like, I have stuff like blocking like the window, so sunlight doesn't get in when I'm sleeping, right? Like, when I lift it, like, I guess like the bird sees like the lifting of, like, you know, the stuff that's, you know, blocking the window, and it flies away, right? So that's what I did this morning. I lifted this, like, the stuff that's blocking my window, and the bird left, right? And it came right back. But I want to say I did this like 3 times, and eventually like it stopped, right? So quick little like break before we get into the next video. I just wanted to, number one, I have to be obedient and do what the Holy Spirit is telling me to do. He told me to come back and make it into each video, so that's what I'm going to do. The Holy Spirit had me create a Go Fund Me, and it helped me move into my resting place, which is the home in which he has called me to. Yeah, he had me make a video on it, which is on my personal YouTube account. So if you want to know how, you know, how this came about, you go watch this video. That's located on my personal YouTube account. But he had me create a GoFundMe so that I could raise money to help me move into my home. So if you guys would like to sow a seed and help me to move into my home, the link to my GoFundMe and the link to my Linktree will be in the description box down below, and I will probably put it in the comment section as well, and you can just copy and paste those links into the URL and go from there. And I just want to say that to those of you who sow, and to those of you who, even if you don't sow financially, you're just, here just watching this video, I'm very thankful, and I want to thank you guys. So yeah, until the next episode, bye.